Hello and welcome to the Grow Up Podcast. My name is Kennedy Garfield and I am a 20-year-old dreamer who is obsessed with leveling up their life. If you are looking to build your confidence, navigate career moves, or find balance in your relationships, then you have come to the right place. My goal in this podcast is to allow inspiration and knowledge to easily seep into that beautiful brain of yours. Think of this podcast as your weekly dose of growing a little stronger. Leave it to me to provide relatable advice, share personal stories, and interview badass women who are killing it in their own unique way. I know you're about to have such a great time with me, so thank you for pushing play today, and now let's grow up together. Guys, this episode is about to be so good. First of all, I just want to say, to every one of you listening to this, I'm sure that you have either gone through a breakup or someone that you know is going through a breakup. But I want to say, I hear you and I'm so sorry. Whether you broke up with someone or you're feeling the pains of a breakup right now, I want you to know that I feel you, I see you, and I hear you. I've gone through multiple breakups myself, and that is from friend breakups, boyfriend breakups, leaving abusive relationships. I have gone through the pain of a breakup, and it is no fun. So I know that at one point you felt like they were a forever person, and to remove yourself from that sort of relationship is super hard. So I want to say, I love you. You are capable of love. You are totally worthy of love. And do not settle. I promise there is someone out there that can show you a love that you've never felt in your life, and you will find it. Let's hop right into it. I'm going to first start talking about more of the stages of a breakup, and I have a little twist on that. I go to therapy for, I guess, anyone that doesn't know, and I love to talk about how I go. So I brag about being a girl that goes to therapy, but I highly recommend that everyone should look into it and see if it's something that is your style. But in therapy, she was talking about how that the stages of a breakup are not linear. You're gonna bounce back and forth from bargaining, wanting to text them, to gaslighting yourself and being like, oh my gosh, did I make a mistake by breaking it off by them? Or oh my heck, I am not lovable because they broke it off with me. You're going to totally miss the potential of the love that you want, and you're gonna ache for that love again. Or then you're going to bounce back to being so mad about why they hurt you, the things they did. You're going to start remembering stuff or remembering things that they say, and you're going to get so angry. And then you'll bounce to crying. The stages of after a breakup are never linear. So to all of those that you have maybe heard where it's you're going to experience grief, and then you're going to move into the stage of whatever, and then you'll finally feel acceptance. There are going to be days where you feel acceptance, and then the very next day you're going to feel so mad and angry and feel like you're at day one. And that's just how it's going to be. You need to accept that process over obsessing about, oh my gosh, I just need to get to the acceptance stage, because it's not going to happen if you try to force it. So a good representation of that is the movie Legally Blonde. So I am giving you permission to go home tonight and watch Legally Blonde and see how the stages are not linear there. But let's dive deeper into what happens right after a breakup. So along with those stages, bouncing back and forth between all of the emotions, it's normal to feel that way. I want you to know. But let's talk about what you should do right after you either break up with someone or someone breaks up with you, or you cut something off with someone that meant a lot to you. You are going to want to detox. And I'm going to be 100% honest. I'm so mean about this. I'm going to yell at you for 10 seconds, but you need to cut it off. Go no contact. Delete the contact of that person. I'm going to be brutal. Someone needs to let you know, if you want to not feel as much pain or feel better after this, you need to cut it completely off. So that looks like taking down the photos. Like, block him on Instagram, block her on Instagram, block anyone on Instagram. Like, that's totally fine. Delete the notes that you write about them in your notes app. I know you do that. Stop purposely taking certain routes or certain paths to maybe, and I'm putting up quotation marks, fingers in the air, to maybe see them. Like, stop taking those paths. Like, because I know you're doing that. And like, also delete their contact. Don't just add to their contact name. Don't text. Like, let it go. Let it go. But moving on. Now that I've whipped you into shape and pretty much yelled at you. But along with detoxing, you need to surround yourself with people that you love. So if that looks like going home for the weekend, go home. If that looks like staying in for a couple days, stay in. If that looks like being a freaking pet to your best friend, like, follow them around. Like, you need to, and I heard this from another podcast, but she calls it your first aid kit of people. So just like if you were to be hurt or get a cut or a wound, you would reach for the first aid kit to bandage or, like, repair your wound in some way. So just in the same way of, like, right after a breakup, maybe when you were hurt, who are your first aid kit people? Like, who are some people that come to mind? I'll share a story time and be a little bit vulnerable and transparent with you all. It actually worked out great because after my breakup, I moved home, back to my hometown, which was a blessing in disguise. And so I had my mom, my parents, my sister, and my grandparents around me, which really, really helped. And just a couple days after my breakup, I came, because I'm living with my grandparents right now, and I came upstairs from my room. My grandma was in the kitchen, and she had seen that I was crying a little bit, and she came over and she's like, "Oh my gosh, Kennedy, what is wrong?" And I was like, "Oh, I broke up with my boyfriend." And she just gave me the biggest hug, and I started crying even more. And to be honest, I don't cry often as of lately, just because of Lexapro. So all my Lexapro peeps unite. But it just helps you. So find your first aid kit of people, go to them, talk to them about it. And that's like another tip. Nothing helped me more than just talking about it. And that being said, like, if you're a friend of someone that has just gone through a breakup, shoot them a text. It helps them with the stages after a breakup. So stay consistent with the detox and surround yourself with love, and not only from others, but personal love. You need to be gentle with yourself. For those that especially are words of affirmation, love language people, you need to start taking affirmation seriously. And I know you just rolled your eyes. I know you just let out a big sigh of what the heck, Kennedy, but take them seriously. Every morning before you wake up, before you even open your eyes, give yourself some affirmations that you feel like you need. And even though it is cheesy, as soon as you start taking it seriously, it's going to help you so much more. So give yourself that personal love that you need. I'm going to end this episode here with something that I learned from Case Kenny. He is amazing. He also has a podcast, but I've learned so much from him. And in a podcast I was listening to not too long ago, he said this: "It's not about who's interested, it's about who's consistent. It's not about who compliments you, it's who understands you. It's not about who makes promises, it's who keeps promises. It's not about who initiates, it's who follows through. It's not about who tells you, it's who shows up. It's not about who wants you, it's who deserves you." So I love you so much. To all of my people going through breakups, or those that have friends or family that are going through breakups, I hear you, I see you, you're worthy of love, you're going to get through this. Sadness does not last forever. You're going to experience happiness. very, very soon, and your dream love is about to come to you. So keep going, stay consistent, and I love you so much. Peace out. Thank you so much for tuning in today's episode. If you loved what you heard today, be sure to share with me by leaving a review on iTunes so that I can keep the beautiful stuff coming your way. If you aren't already following me on social media, come soak up the extra inspiration and knowledge on my Instagram by following @Kennedy_Garfield. I love you so much and can't wait to connect with you on the next episode. In the meantime, go out there and grow up.